Man, I got it swag. My head matching my bag. You know I'm poppin' tags. Cause man, I got it swag.
We are about to turn up and get ready for Mr. Lenny Williams here. So are we ready for Lenny? Is anybody familiar with Lenny already?
Yeah.
Yeah? Alright, so the rest of y'all are about to get to know him. I'm gonna put on my big girl voice for you, Lenny. You ready? You ready, Lenny? Alright. Lenny Williams. He holds an MBA degree from New Jersey City University, where he serves as a professor of entrepreneurship within the School of Business. He also teaches at Union, Hudson, and Brookdale Community College under the business departments. Within the field of higher education, he has a strong background in the student leadership, media, and education, all while under the age of 30. Wow. He's already impacted so many students inside of the classroom and has assisted hundreds more to get into college, and I just think that's so dope, so applaud you for that. As an educator, Lenny has traveled nationwide and internationally spreading the message of being an effective leader. As a person who has overcome hurdles along with a masterful storytelling ability, he's continued to strive in achieving his mission of reaching generations and reminding them the greatness that can be achieved against all of the odds. And we can all attest to that, because, I mean, we're legit, all of us are here because of that. In addition, Mr. Williams has created scholarships in his name for minority students at Union County College and worked with organizations such as Twitter, NFL, United States Department of Labor, The Breakfast Club, Vice, BuzzFeed, Madison Square Garden, and more. Lenny has been seen on Fox 5, Hot 97, The Source Magazine, and more. And when he's not working, Mr. Williams can be found traveling and loving his fiancée, NBC The Voice finalist and nurse, Felicia Temple. So everybody give me a good round of applause for Lenny.
I don't know if you're ready. I'm getting old. Millennials are getting old. So again, my name is Lenny. I'm retired. All right. My name is Lenny Williams. Yes, I'm a professor. I'm also an entrepreneur. I want to talk to you a little bit about entrepreneurship and side hustles. How many people have a side hustle or entrepreneur or a business? Oh, shout out to y'all. Hey. I'm really tired. Like, I'm really old, but I just want to talk to you a little bit about entrepreneurship and how I got started. So I always share a story about the time I was 15. So at 15, I got a job at Target. If you know anything about Target, you had to be 16 to get a job. So at the time I wanted a job because I grew up poor, or as I would say, I grew up one firing away from being homeless. Right? Because our parents, they worked hard, but they got fired the next day, they could lose their house. And my dad was real tough on me and said, listen, I need you to get a job. I said, Dad, I need working papers. I'm not 16. And he said, figure it out. So I went to Target and I applied for a job. and I didn't get the job. I was 15. And Miss Levy was the boss, and I went to Target every single day for 4 weeks asking her for a job. So she got annoyed. I was like, listen, I'm not gonna hire you officially. You just have to wear a red shirt and some khakis, and I just want you to help push the carts. And that turned into a job at 15 at Target, between me going to carts, to cashier, to sales, to a management position at 18. Now, I don't say that to talk about my success at Target. Shout out to Target. And I'm tired, man. I'm not swag surfing no more. That's it. Jeff is over. That's it. So I don't say that. I say all of that to say that a lot of times we put rules and barriers in front of us to stop us from being successful. We put rules and barriers because you know what happens is it's just a person behind you that have the lack of vision. So in order to be a real entrepreneur, I need you to start having this mindset of having a long-term vision, but also thinking about 5 years from now and not 5 minutes from now. And being able to look ridiculous to some people with your ideas. Because it happens. Because people just don't see it. So just because I couldn't get the job at 16, I got the job at 15, I started working there and I was able to be successful. And that's the mindset that I want you to have. Now, I also have to say that the entrepreneurship has no rules. There's no set standard of who's an entrepreneur. You know, we fall into this millennial category of, I don't want to have a boss. Like, I am a boss. Shout out to Meek Mill. Tell I like media. And what happens is when you think about that, we get into this mindset of society telling us that we have to quit our job in order to be an entrepreneur. So despite having a business called Trill and Not Trill, which is doing pretty well, I also work at a university and I also teach at a university. But what I do is, and that's what I want you to learn is, if you do have a side hustle and you have a job, I want you to start to have what I call the Robin Hood mentality. I want you to be able to use the employer just like they use you every single day. Right? So what I mean by that is, I'm sorry if you have some supervisors in here, with your supervisor, I'm sorry. But I want you to have this Robin Hood mentality. So if you know there's a conference coming up and your job can pay for it, and you know that it helps not only your job, but it also helps your side hustle, I think you need to apply and go to that conference. Right? I think that you need to really think about how can I use the resources within my job to become that entrepreneur or to get that side hustle. Does that make sense? Yes. Next thing I want to teach you, I am a professor, so I have to get a little professory. I don't know if that's even a word, I just made it up. But most businesses, you always think you need money. It's not true. Right? Most small businesses start with only $5,000. And honestly, you can start with less. You know, you can actually take $300, $325, maybe $375 and start an LLC like tonight. Like literally in 10 minutes. Now you're a business owner. Right? We think about this big picture. We all want to be like Bill Gates and BuzzFeed and Facebook. I'm talking about small term first and doing that first. Second is this. If you're not able to afford that business, it's time for us to starve our own egos. Right? What happens is we're not coming together and doing partnerships. So I want to talk a little bit. My business partner here is Jeff. You can raise his hand. Shout out to Jeff. We run a business called Trill and Not Trill. And we were two educators that spoke to students. But we knew students needed more. We know they needed more within curriculums. We know they needed more with getting jobs from college to the career field. But we had to put our egos aside. Because a lot of times there's not a lot of black men speaking to college students. So what happens is they put us against each other. But we said, you know, we're going to starve our egos, we're going to work together, and then we came together. But you got to put trust not only in your own business, but you got to trust them that they believe in the mission. So it's not about you doing it all by yourself. Right? You can't be a web designer, you can't do the logo. I mean, you can, but good luck, you're going to burn yourself out. Right? You can't do it all. If you have a weakness, it's time to find somebody to put things together. And a lot of times, some businesses are doing the same exact thing, and if you came together, you'll be an organization. You heard the difference? You are a business, but when you come together with somebody else and you bring it together, now you're an organization. Right? And that's the mindset I need you to have. So again, entrepreneurship, there's no real map to this. But I want you to know, if you don't have the money for it, if you don't have the ideas for it, you don't have the support for it, it's time to put your ego aside and put it together. Right, so we're in a room here with a bunch of entrepreneurs. I think it's time, if you've seen them raise their hand, to take their business cards, start putting their minds together and say, you know what, maybe our business can work right together. Another thing that you need to know about entrepreneurship is that I brought it up earlier, I'm gonna bring it up again, it's about having a vision of 5 years from now. I'm sorry, there's no shade to anybody, but a lot of businesses, you're doing something that's already been done. And not already been done, but it's already old. Right, so a trend to me is old, because it's already been done. So what's gonna happen beyond that? You know, so a lot of times when we have our businesses, we're always thinking about targeting millennials. I love millennials, I'm a millennial. But I want you to look at, what about Generation Z? What about the generation before that? What about the small kids? How can I transition them into customers for a customer lifetime value that can make my business grow, and that it's an entrepreneur and it's an organization, not just a side hustle? All right, you still with me? You still there? All right, yeah. So I need you to understand, like, how can I think 5 years from now? So like, for example, my business, we talk to students, we do leadership, we get them all excited, but we know 5, 10 years from now, everything's gonna be virtual reality, everything's gonna be robots. Now, I could be a typical millennial and say, I hate all that stuff, and I can't believe what's going on, and this is ridiculous. They're gonna have robots actually do this. Or I can say, how can I get involved with those robots to make my company last for the next 15 to 20 years? Or maybe your business is a 15-month to 20-month business. You know, this is my 4th business, and this is my legit business. Before that, I started my first, ironically, in the fashion district right here. At 16 years old, I got $100 from my mom. I was supposed to go buy something for the family. I didn't do it. I was that kid, yes. I got on the train. I bought a bunch of stuff in the fashion district that was not real. And I brought it back to the high school. And I started a locker, and I turned it into a store. So I paid a student that had a popular locker, like a locker area, to have fake goods in the locker. That turned into a $100 business, that turned into almost $3,500 in 1 week. But I got in trouble, because that's illegal. You can't do that in school. But what I'm saying is that it was a side hustle, and the side hustle can also teach you how to get to that level of owning your own organization. So don't let nobody minimize the ideas and the businesses that you have because it's small, because that small business can turn into something large. Last but not least, I just want to be honest with you, when you think about stats, only 18% of entrepreneurs last after 3 years. Right? It's a scary number. So what I want to end off with is this, is that you don't want entrepreneurship to be something for the likes. You don't want entrepreneurship to be something that somebody forced you into. You don't want entrepreneurship to be a way because you don't want to have a boss. I need you to have that Robin Hood mentality. I need you to keep that salary and be able to save that money. I want you to get a partner. But last but not least, I just want you to actually take your time. Right? Just take your time. It's not going to happen overnight. In order to get things like sponsorships, in order to get partnerships with companies, literally you have to talk to them 6 to 7 months. Talks, meetings, some more meetings. Hey, Sue, you want some coffee? Talks, meetings. Hey, I like your sneakers. How's your daughter? Talks, more meetings, more meetings. In the meantime, you hate everything that's going on, but you're fronting because you want the money. And then 6 months later, you get that money. So in order for you to succeed, you have to have short-term goals, but also ways of gaining the long-term patience. Right, so short-term goal, but long-term patience. That's so key. So you have your short-term goals, but I need you to have that long-term patience. And I know I said lastly before, I guess that's a speaker thing today, I don't know. But lastly, social media is not everything with marketing. I need you to hear me closely. When it comes to entrepreneurship, it's a platform, right? It's a foundation. It gets your name out. But that's not the key to marketing. The key to marketing is customer service. And the biggest key, which will never leave for the next 20, 40, 50, 60 years, is word of mouth. So you can have this beautiful Instagram page, and I've seen it. And I give a person the opportunity to say, well, I'm a speaker, and I would love to speak. And I'm like, listen, I got a school for you. Can you send me your bio? Very simple, on your website. Yeah, I'm gonna send it to you, I'm gonna send it. That's Monday, Tuesday. I'm gonna send it. And then 3 weeks later, I never get it. Right? Or I get it 4 weeks later because you're not prepared. Don't let that fool you. You got 700, 800, 900, 1,000 likes, 16,000 likes, but it don't mean there's no money in the account. Right? So it's very important to understand that that's the platform. The basics of marketing you need to understand. And I'm going to be here till 5. You want to talk to me about marketing or some other strategies outside of social media, but social media is not everything. I need you to remember that. So I thank you all for listening and that half-ass swag surf. That's half-ass swag surf. And I'll be here for the rest of the day. As I said earlier, you can find me on Instagram at @professor.williams. My company is Trill or nottrill.com. You can find us on all platforms. I mean, one way I like to bring up while I'm here, while I have the mic, is that I can help you, you can possibly help me. If you work for a company or organization and you know that they're hiring, or you know that you can place interns at that corporation, please let me know. We deal with over 50 to 60 colleges across the country. And I'm really big on helping minority and certain students in social economic backgrounds and things like that. So if you have that outlet, it's time for us to partner and figure out ways we can also help Generation Z with our millennial platform. So I thank you all for listening and have a great day.